Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. We need to get black children excited about business. Now I understand I might have some people who follow this channel who are non-black, but okay. I'm not saying anything disrespectful. My philosophy has always been do for self. Not against anybody, but do for self. Because I'm not big on handouts or anything like that. So here's the thing. In the black community, we need to get black children excited about business. There was something I saw on IG, and it was a general statement about, we need to get kids, black kids, just as excited about business as they are about, sports and entertainment. Because let's be real. Because I remember when I was younger, in position to work with younger kids, like in their teens. And I remember 99% of the young men in particular, I would say, well, what do you want to do when you grow up? And they say, play basketball, be a rapper. I had one kid who was like, hell yeah, I want to own businesses and everything. And I remember that kid. Let me tell a story about that kid, that child. He's running something now. I just don't know where. This was because he was about 7 years old. This kid was, how old was he? 7, 8? I don't know, but I know this. He's making minimum 6 figures somewhere, minimum, probably $1 million there. All right, because I told you I've vended. I can give a webinar on how to vend, and that's one of the things I always said. I don't need it for money so much, just to have fun. But I remember I was vending, selling some books at this. It was a Christmas expo, small Christmas expo at this church. And, I'm selling this stuff. There was a woman there. She had her son there. That dude was already sharp for business. I mean, that dude was on some hustle. He actually took one of my business cards after the expo and gave me a call. I was like, what? But here's the thing. He was all about business already. He was already thinking about business. And now I'm just remembering, there was a little girl, there was a bookstore it was in Greenbelt Plaza. I can't remember the exact name, but it was owned by this brother named Mike. And he would have his daughter, I would do a book signing there, and he would have his daughter there. And she was telling me, I'm sitting there like, out in the, part of the mall, because I had my table set up right outside of his store. And, he had the main walkway, and the little girl come and say, yeah, that person ain't gonna buy it. That person ain't gonna do it. They're gonna give you some trouble. All right, get that guy right there. And then, I'd sign the book. She would take it in, and she was working on a register. The thing was, she was already trained for business. She was already trained for it. She's probably another young lady, because this is back in early 2000s. She's probably somebody else who has a business now. And that's very important. See, I'm going to tell you what. Particularly for black parents, we need to get the kids in general out of the idea the only way you can make money is entertainment or sports. Now, if the kids have some real talent, yes. But even then, they still need to have a sense of business. That's why you'll get a LeBron James, who I think he's an official billionaire now. As talented as he is in sports, if people look at all the business stuff he do, or Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal owns so much stuff. Because one of the things, let's go down that path for a second. You get so many people think, get in that NBA or get in the NFL, get that sports money, or be that big time rapper. First of all, it takes a lot to even get there. It takes a lot, and not just talent. There is some luck involved. Because you can be very talented, like in sports. You can make it to the basketball league or get drafted, but you might get drafted by the wrong team and then just fell out of the league. Or you can get drafted by the right team and explode, just have the right combination. And even then, there's still some luck involved. And even then, how long can you play? The average player in any pro league plays maybe 3 years. They're not a superstar. Okay, because you have so many who they make that money, but then afterwards, boom. Like there was a guy, he used to play for the old Washington Redskins back in the day, and someone said he was a star, the top player. I ain't gonna give his name, but they said he was working for UPS. Now that's not a bad job, but how you go from $1 million to, you know, less than 6 figures? You know, seriously, it's something to think about. It's important to have that business thing. And then, like I said, that's only a small percentage who's going to be a millionaire or something like that. Only a tiny percentage. Not even small, tiny, tiny, tiny. But business, anybody can get into business. And within the Black community, we, yes, get an education, all of that, but not just to work for someone else. Start a business. You know, even if it's a part-time business, we need to talk to them as much as possible. If we're not in a position to do that, like we don't have our own business or anything, still promote the idea. You know, maybe find, you know, someone's in business, say, hey, you know, can my child work with y'all? And I was thinking about this because this is one thing. And this is why I say, if somebody tries to say, well, you know, all people need, hold up, all people be doing that. I remember I had a Korean girlfriend one time. And, you know, she was 20 years old. She was 20 years old. But she already had a business mindset. She already had a business mindset. Like she was looking into some stuff. She was already looking into some stuff at 20. Because where she did work, she was in a position where she was an unofficial manager. So she already had that mindset. And I learned that there, you get communities like that. And, you know, it's usually, you know, when I'm talking Black children, is, you know, let's just be real, I'm talking mostly African American. Mostly African American. Because you get, African diaspora of people like from the Caribbean or Nigeria. They already got their children thinking, Jamaica, please. They be rolling with that. They already thinking business. What kind of business is it? Because business is very important. Business, everybody needs to be thinking about it. That's part of the reason I do what I do, because I was raised in an environment where business was talked about. Like my grandmother, she was always looking into a business, and she owned several properties, including a commercial property. She was thinking business. She was always looking into stuff. But she worked in the government and everything. But, you know, she was always thinking about a business. My uncle and an aunt, my uncle rest his soul, and my aunt, she's still alive. I remember they had a business, but it failed. But it showed me a lot. Because even a failed business can still have the mindset. Because it was like a little takeout joint. It was a little takeout joint, and I already knew it was going to have trouble because I even as a 10-year-old, I knew about location. I was like, I don't get a lot of people here. And apparently there was some, let's just say the previous owner said some extracurricular stuff going on there. Oh, but it's business. And speaking of extracurricular stuff, I can say this now. My grandfather was a numbers runner. That's still business. So I already had that mindset just watching my elders. Even if, you know, one of the successes was Nubius. One of the successes was pretty good. Like I said, my grandmother had commercial property. And then even my uncle and aunt, you know, just seeing them, in fact, being in that little restaurant scaling some fish. But just seeing that was very important. And it affected my mindset as far as business. Because, you know, one of the things I did when I was young, if it snowed out, oh, cha-ching. I was up there shoveling steps and stuff for neighbors. But that's still business. Even like if you look in other communities, they're doing that. Like where I live, it's nothing to see some young white kids with their lemonade stand out. And now I'm thinking about where I used to live. There was a young Black little girl out. She was allowed to set up like a little lemonade stand in this shopping center parking lot. And there were plenty of people supporting it, but she's already getting that mindset. See, we need to get them excited. We need to talk to them about business. Even if we're not in business, just showing them something else. Just showing them something else. You know, there's too many black kids worried about the superstar stuff. And it's cool if they actually have talent or they're willing to work for it. That's their craft. Okay. But that's not everybody's craft. We got to be realistic. And we still need the businesses. You know, there's always talk about business, this, shit, we still got to eat. And it's about doing for self. You know, we can't, and in fact, you know, I'm gonna be honest, we have, the more we have our own businesses, the less, we complaining about racism, but let's just be real, a lot of it's just in business and in hiring and stuff like that. But if we hire ourselves, okay, that mitigates it a whole lot. There's always going to be some dislike based on race. I don't care what you legislate, whatever, sensitivity, there's always going to be some. Because people just realistically, they're going to find some way to dislike someone else. It's only a problem when money's involved. That's the only time it's a problem, okay? So you can mitigate a lot of that, but just having the mindset of owning our businesses, okay? You know? And then even when some people say, well, you want this and you want this, well, we got our own businesses. We don't want shit from them. So anyway, that's all I have for now. Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.